What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Podcasting in the Dark. I am your host, Maxim IG. This is a podcast about the paranormal, spooky stuff, Halloween, you name it. This episode, I am joined by a new friend of mine, a patron of my other podcast, Shonen Jump the Shark. He came on and he said he's got some scary stories, so we're going to talk to him today. Everyone, please welcome Ram. Ram, tell me something scary.
Right. First things first. Again, on the topic of liminal spaces, just in the middle of nowhere, that's where these things happen.
Mm-hmm.
So it was must be about 20 years ago now, probably more than 20 years. I was just about 11 or so. My brother, my friends and such, we used to always wild camp out in the middle of the countryside.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's sort of just in the north of Ireland. There's a small town called Culdaff. It's right on the coast. So there's no civilization there, just small towns. So we all go out to the local bar and we're there until, things close down about 2-3 o'clock in the morning. And we decide, right, time to call it a day, walk back to the campsite, about 2 or 3 miles in the absolute pitch black. All right. The only light you have to navigate is either the stars or whenever the clouds clear and you can get a bit of moonlight.
Mm-hmm.
So we know the general direction we're going, so we're just navigating as the crow flies, just in a straight line.
Yeah.
And there's no houses, no lights on anywhere. It's absolute pitch black. So off we go. And we're about 10 or 15 minutes into it. And this was in the middle of summer. So it's a warm enough time. But all of a sudden, you just get the chill in the air. And we just decide, all right, we'll just keep going. Next thing you know, just this voice right behind us asking us, do we have the time?
Ooh.
Right? No houses for miles. We're on a beach. Just the voice asking us, do you have the time? We turn around and pull out, back in them days, we only had our small Nokia phones. So you get the really, really dumb green light, hold it up, and you can just see the guy just standing there, just bathed in this really low green light. He came out of nowhere. But he just asked us for the time, and as soon as we held up the thing, we just said to him, it's 2:30, and you could just see on his face, his eyes were sewn shut. His eyes were like 2 X's. There was just nothing there. Just this completely featureless face. And, there's nobody there. So we were just yeah, here's the time. And he says, thank you. And we all sort of looked at each other, and when you turn a light on in that kind of dark, it washes out your night vision.
Yeah.
As soon as we turned it off, gone. Just vanished.
What?
Yep.
Oh my God.
As soon as he showed up, he was gone. And we just sort of huddled together for a second, just what just happened? Who was that? Because it's a small town, you would know the locals.
Mm-hmm.
Never seen this guy before. Just those whole, just thinking back about it, it is terrifying in retrospect. But we waited just for a break in the clouds, and finally then we could see where the water was with the clouds reflecting on the water.
Mm-hmm.
And we just absolute beeline, just straight for the campsite, just didn't look back.
What? How his eyes were sewn shut?
It was his eyes were just closed and you could see the crisscross pattern on his eyelids, and it was absolutely terrifying, but his expression was just completely plain. All he did was ask us the time, and as quick as he came, he went. Nobody really spoke about it until the next day, because we're we just need to go.
Holy shit.
Yeah. That was on, I think it was a Saturday night, so the next day was Sunday, so everyone was there at local mass. Because we have no idea who this guy is. Everyone who lives within a 5-mile radius is at this one chapel. And that guy's just not there.
What? Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's so scary. Was this high school or college for you, or?
No, the end of what we call primary school, so probably elementary school for you.
Okay, yeah. So you're probably 12, 13 years old at this point.
Oh yeah. Because it's not ready for that kind of situation.
Jesus Christ. That's,
Yeah.
dude, I'd have been like, we're all running back to town, right? We're gonna sleep under a street lamp where we can see something coming. Wow.
No street lamps.
Oh
There's
jeez.
there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. There's no internet. There's no phone lines.
Have you been back to that area since?
Oh yeah. I went there every year for summer.
And
You know,
nothing else scary, just that one particular night?
yeah, like we would sit outside like all night just watching the stars, looking for UFOs, spotting satellites. But
Mm-hmm.
you never see anything like that.
Jeez.
Oh,
That's like a top tier story on this pod so far.
yeah, but that's the kind of thing that only happens in these spaces. There's no one else around.
Mm-hmm. But it's just you and the emptiness, and just like that's the time when you're gonna see something scary. I think when I was a kid, we would camp a lot with my parents, and it
Hmm.
was always like fun in like in the mountains of Colorado. We camp by a lake. It's always very chill, very nice. But then as I got older, I know it's kind of ridiculous, but being like camping in college and after, I was like, camping is kind of really fucking scary. Like, it's fun. Being in nature is great, but when you have to go to bed and then you're laying there in your sleeping bag in the tent and you hear like a twig snap, it's not like being in the city where, oh, it's just like a neighbor walking outside or whatever. It's like, oh no, there's something out there. It's probably an animal, but it could be anything. And I'm just
Oh
sitting in this
yeah.
tent undefended, you know?
Yeah, it's like a deer call. A deer call just sounds like a woman's scream.
Yeah.
When you're out in the middle of nowhere, I'm not taking that chance.
Nope. Yeah, there was one time I was camping in college with some friends, and like we went to sleep. We were at this place. It was like a free campground, like not maybe like 20 minutes outside of Boulder, Colorado. So like not in like an unpopulated area, but in
Mhm.
like a very quiet spot in the mountains. And we go to sleep. It's just like kind of in the woods, whatever. We go to sleep, and I have this dream of this, like, that we're all sitting around the campfire, and like this old woman like crawled out of the ashes of the campfire, and she was like this like scary like crazy like witch, and she was like attacking us, and it was like there. And then I woke up from this like nightmare, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna go back to sleep. I think I'm just gonna stay awake until the sun comes up. I think I'm good.
Oh yeah. Like, once you have the experience like that, like that's you done.
Yep. It's like, hey guys, can we go home tomorrow? Is that all
Right?
right?
Yeah, phone's over. Let's get back to some safety and normality.
Yeah, there's always something when you see something scary like that, and then you see other human beings living their normal life, that you go, all right, we're cool. Everything's fine.
I've just had the experience. I would like to forget it. Let's get back to this.
Yeah, exactly. So you said you had another proper story to share. So what's going on?
So my second story happens when I was even younger again. I was about 7, 8, and this is one that I remember like so clearly, like it stuck with me my entire life. But I'm going into the bathroom one night, and I just put my hand up just to pull the light on,
Mm-hmm.
and instead of the light actually coming on, the room just flashed blue. Just the entire room just bathed in blue, like and just in a heartbeat. And I'm looking straight ahead, and I can see my reflection. And
Mm-hmm.
standing right behind me is this man, just like taller than me, like twice as tall as me, completely soaked from head to toe, but again, completely expressionless, just standing there, not even looking at me, looking right past me, looking directly at the mirror. And as soon as I noticed him and seen him clearly, again, just the lights were on, and I'm in the bathroom alone.
Oh
Right?
my god.
And again, I I didn't feel any kind of malice. There was no anger. I didn't feel scared. It was just fuck was that? No, did I see that? Was that real? So
Wow.
I just buried it. Like I just okay, nothing happened, nothing to worry about. Oh, let's just keep on keeping on. But again, so I was a lot younger, so I wasn't really involved in a lot of family affairs.
Hmm.
But yeah, again, like saying that I was 7, so then it came to the 10th anniversary of my uncle, my godfather's disappearance.
Hmm.
And yeah, so I finally seen his picture in one of our family photo albums. And the man I seen behind me in the mirror, who was my godfather, who I'd never met before, because he disappeared when I was 3, that was him in the photos.
What?
I
Oh.
remember it as clear as day, as clear as you're sitting in front of me. That was him, standing right behind me.
Oh my god, I just got chills.
Yeah. But again, his story is on Christmas night in 1985, he goes missing, completely vanishes, and then days later, his car is found, and not too far away from we had that other experience. Like, if you go up
Ooh.
to the very, very north of Ireland,
Hmm.
there's Malin Head here, and you've got the coastline comes down to where we were here in Culdaff. It is just one big bay. But yeah, the far end of the bay has cars found driven off a pier. It had to be craned out of the water. Right? Doors all closed and locked. Windows up. No sign of him.
Oh whoa.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yep.
Do you think
And
it was a different guy who saw you on the beach though, right?
oh, it's a different guy. The guy I seen on the beach, like he has a really plump features, like he was like really bedraggled. He looked really strange.
Okay.
But again, I never told my girlfriend about this story. Right? And one night, she wakes up in bed, like having a proper panic attack, telling me that she's had a dream about me in the bathroom, locked in the bathroom, all bathed in blue light with this man standing behind me with his arms out. And she described him to me without me ever telling her the story.
Dude, what?
Yep. Like,
Oh
well,
my god.
she's like super religious.
Uh-huh.
Like, I wouldn't be very religious, but she is. And she had that dream about me, and then I had to tell her the story of what happened to me. And like we had to get a priest up, we had to get the house blessed.
Oh wow.
She was terrified because this is still the same house.
Wow. Yeah, I honestly I would too. I'd be like, all right, one incident when you're a child, scary. Having it
Mm-hmm.
a detail, like a piece of it reoccur as an adult through someone else, be like, it's time to clean something up. Yeah, we got to get a third party involved here. Wow.
I just look at it as if he was supposed to be my godfather, so maybe he was looking out for me.
Yeah.
I doubt he was haunting me.
Yeah, he's not
If he was,
maliciously haunting you. He's just hanging out. He's checking in.
yeah, if he was haunting me, then I feel sorry for him because I'm not that interesting.
It's like, man, I've been following this nerd for 20 years.
Yeah, like is it any wonder the light was blue? He was depressed watching me.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good one. That's really creepy.
Yeah.
I'd love to know if there's like another occurrence. I feel like this could be not the end of it, but pretty far between occurrences, you know?
But again, even after that, it still didn't freak me out. Like, I don't know why, just the concept just doesn't seem scary to me.
Dude, I could not. I'd be paranoid. I'd be like, there's someone in the house all the time.
If anything, I find it more comforting that there is something after this.
Mm,
You know,
kind
as
of a
boring as it may
validation.
be, it's not the end.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, okay,
Yeah,
yeah, there could be something else out there. I guess that's true.
yeah.
Um, You also mentioned that the town you live in is like kind of
Hmm.
a Halloweeny place, right?
Oh yes, yes, yes. Like you know, whenever I was listening to the previous episodes,
Hmm.
you have people on talking about these old properties, where they're staying in, and to you, old is what 19 or 1890.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
My city here, Derry, we've been here since the first recorded instance of Derry was from the 6th century AD. That's
Wow.
when we, that's when we were founded as a city. So like Derry
Jeez.
stretches back thousands of years.
That's crazy. I can't even comprehend that. When I went to China this year, we went to some places in Inner Mongolia that had been there since the Mongol Khans, like since like the, even just like 14th century, 13th
Yeah.
century, and you're like it's like mind blowing to be like, wow, the history is alive here. Because in New York
Mm.
City, in America, New York City is an old city, but everything here is just from 1920, basically.
Oh yeah, everything's just Art Deco and Gothic.
Yeah, I wish there was more stuff like that, but the oldest stuff is kind of Deco and Gothic. So, but Derry is, in my mind, I'm imagining a foggy place where all the houses are thatch roofed and stones and everything is haunted.
Well, the entire city, we have one of the only intact sets of medieval walls that are still standing, and they surround the inner city.
Whoa.
Oh yes, like the inner city is the center of the town, but everything else has been built out from the walls. So like they're still integral to the town.
Whoa, this is cool.
Uh,
Uh,
we see just outside Derry. I think I was telling you about this already. There's a site called Greenan Avila. Right,
okay.
it is an ancient ring fort that the earliest estimates of it is 4,000 years old, with the
What?
highest estimates of it saying it's been there for 9,000 years. Right, it's
Whoa.
It's a stone ring fort on top of a hill that the ancient high kings of Ireland would use basically as just like a lookout post. They would station men inside on top of the hill where no one could attack them, and they could see down for miles on either side and could never be attacked. But one of the ancient high kings of Ireland, he decided that I think it was the Saxons, was it, or maybe the Normans were attacking at the time. So he
Mhm.
dug these tunnels underneath the fort, underground, and built a cavern system where he sent his men underneath there and then sealed them in. They had all the ancient druids and the priests come up, cast all these spells to make these men immortal. They will never, like, their bodies might perish, but they will never die. And they're still there. They've never been exhumed. If you were to try to exhume them, you would collapse the whole structure. But these men,
Whoa.
their horses, their armor, everything is under there. They're just waiting for the day that Ireland needs them, and then they will rise from the grave to protect Ireland.
Wow. So
Mm.
is this like a haunted site, or is this just kind of the legend around it?
Both. It's
Both.
fairly haunted. You go up there in the middle of the night, doesn't matter what night, and again, there's nothing around you for miles in every direction, but you can still hear metal clanging, you can hear horses whinnying and neighing, and you can just always sort of hear just on the wind itself, just like grumbles and whispers and like men sort of grunting, talking, even though there's no one there. And it's a
Jeez.
constant sound. It's been there. It's been documented. I don't know how many times, but no one's ever figured it out.
Wow. I'm looking this up on Google. This is really cool.
Yeah,
It's
it's
how
really
do you pronounce this site?
the easy way to say it is Green Anne,
Mhm.
but if we're saying it in Irish, as Gaeilge, it's an Green an Avila.
Ayla. Okay, Grinnin of Ayla. Gotcha. It for the listeners, if you want to look this up, it's Grianan of AILEACH. That's how you can find it on Wikipedia. This looks so old and like really, really well preserved.
Yeah, it's like Stonehenge in England.
Mm-hmm.
There's loads of them all around Ireland. They're just not famous.
Really?
They're
Wow.
thousands upon thousands of years old. But again, they're all in the countryside, so we just leave them, just preserve them, and they're all still there.
Yeah, we just don't touch that ancient druid stuff. We don't want to get messed up in that.
We have enough ghosts to worry about already. Like, our town is so haunted that whenever Stephen King wrote the book It, he named the town Derry.
Is it really named after that?
Yep. There's a Derry and a London Derry, and I think it's Maine. And he specifically set the book there for that reason.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. And you also mentioned that your town is before we got on the recording, the Halloween capital of Europe.
And it has been for the last 35 years. Like,
so
Halloween here is bigger than Christmas, bigger than everything. Because Halloween in Ireland is an extension of the old festival of Samhain.
Mm-hmm.
That would be an old Celtic druidic god. All right, so that was sort of signaling the end of summer, the start of autumn, time to harvest.
Yeah.
But it was also time for the High Kings of Ireland to meet and convene, along with the High Lords and nobles, any man of note, and they would discuss the affairs of the country and remake new laws for the next year. So, like, it's a whole festival of renewal and regeneration.
Mm.
And, like, that tradition just still carries on. Like, it's the biggest time of year here. Like, just before COVID, 2019, we were sort of getting close to the biggest festival the town ever had. And the town spent £1 million, on that festival. It was the biggest thing they ever had. They still talk about it today. But for every single pound spent, they made back 8.
Wow. So this is like a big destination for people in Ireland to go to for Halloween.
Yeah. Oh, Halloween in Derry lasts for 9 or 10 days.
You are describing like what is my ultimate holiday. That's so sick. I love Halloween, and I often joke. I mean, in America we have Thanksgiving, which is just kind of a get together and eat holiday. I'm like, I would happily swap a Thanksgiving for a second Halloween. Like, I would, like 9 or 10 days of Halloween, I'd be so stoked.
Every single day there's a festival, there's a different theme. It's constant light shows, fireworks. Every bar, pub, club, restaurant, hotel is in on it. And, it's just a constant party.
That's so fun.
You can put a costume on and wear that costume for 10 days and no one will look twice. That is completely fine.
That was going to be my next question is costumes. Because I know everywhere, different parts of the world have different traditions regarding stuff. And for America, I think most people have a Halloween costume. And it's like pop culture, whatever, I'm guessing you guys have similar, or is there any like traditional Halloween costumes that you guys might have?
Nah, that's pretty much the exact same. You have Spirit Halloween, we would have a contemporary store. Same thing. Everyone dressed up as priests, gangsters,
Okay.
Just all the same golf.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, do you have your Halloween picked out for this year? Or your costume picked out for this year?
Oh yeah, sure. That's it behind me there on the shelf.
Oh, I don't see. What is it?
Oh, that's the Gundam helmet.
Oh, hell yeah.
We got it for the eyes that light up.
Nice. Yeah, I've decided I like one year in college, I decided to go with something like truly just scary. And as I found out, nobody at Halloween parties wants to talk to someone who looks scary. So I try to do fun costumes. And this year, New York City has debuted a special trash can that is just for pizza boxes. So I'm gonna
Right.
make that. I'm gonna turn like a cardboard box into the special pizza box trash can. That's gonna be my Halloween costume.
Like, now that I think about it, like for the Halloween here, the scariest thing people would probably dress up as would be like like priests. Like I dressed up as like the Pope one year,
Hmm.
and like, well, if you know anything about what the Catholic Church did to Ireland, you know that's terrifying.
Yeah, you know what's even scarier is King Henry VIII as a costume.
Walking about with all the wives we know heads.
Yeah. Oh man, that's cool.
Mm.
So
But
just curious, is your family like growing up? Were you guys like a superstitious family, or did you have any? Did you grow up with any paranormal or supernatural influence from your parents or anything like that?
oh yeah, my mother believes every single wives' tale you've ever heard.
Really?
Mm. Ah, if she gets like a chill, like a pain in her kidney, her like remedy for that is to wear an eye patch and drink lemon water. Like absolutely ridiculous stuff. Believes everything. Me and my partner, we're house hunting at the minute,
Hmm.
and we went to view a house the other day, and my ma gave me a 10 pence piece to hide in the garden of the new house as a good luck charm, so we would want it. People here are ridiculously superstitious. Don't step on a crack on the pavement. Don't walk under ladders. Stay away from black cats.
All the classics.
Oh yeah, yeah. But some people still believe all of it.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Interesting. This is something that we kind of talked about in our Discord a little bit, but like the classic Irish folklore creature, there are two, and like,
Mm.
of course, there's like leprechauns, but banshees. Do people like
Mhm.
believe in banshees? What's going on there? Like, actually in Ireland?
Oh no, banshees would be something that would be mentioned, quite regularly. There's
Really?
always a story of somebody coming back. It always happens after a night on the town, or
Mhm.
you after the person again. They're always alone,
Yeah.
but the only real documented ones are where people's hair turn white. Like, and it has happened.
What?
Like
Oh.
when the banshee wails at you, and you get so scared it literally turns your hair white
Jeez. I.
again. But it's one of those stories where like I've never met anyone that happened to, but
Mm,
everybody knows someone who knows someone, and it always just stays on like our local cultural zeitgeist.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Is there anything? Is there like any type of like legends or beliefs about like preventing banshees' presence or anything like that, or is it just kind of like they happen when they happen? You never know.
Well, that's why we have the look of the Irish. It's like you either have it or you don't. If you meet a banshee, God love you. You're on your own, and no one's going to try and help.
And the other one, so I know Americans can be so annoying about Irish stereotypes, but like leprechauns, do they actually have a place in like local folklore at all, or is it just kind of something we came up with over here?
Basically, yeah. After Lucky Charms and the whole pot of gold thing, like here's one thing: I have actually seen the end of a rainbow. There was nothing there.
Nothing there.
Yep. We were out hiking, and because we were so high up, the light didn't have enough space to refract, so we could actually see the end of the rainbow on the
Mm.
ground, like about 100 meters in front of us. And, it was just heather and reeds.
Yep, that's a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
Someone else must got to it first.
Under that, it was on the other end. We were at the wrong end.
Yeah, you're at the originating end of the rainbow. You're not at the
Mhm.
end of the rainbow.
But no, leprechauns would just be used as advertising.
Mm.
They have no place other than what like Darby O'Gill and the Little People.
Mm.
Uh, There's no stories about leprechauns. There's no real folk tales about them. It is just like an American creation.
Okay, well, that's boring.
But sure, you just have mascots for everything.
Oh yeah, I mean, we definitely do. You know, the Irish have leprechauns, the Italians have Tony Soprano. It's kind of it's a whole thing.
Not even Little Caesar, just Tony Soprano.
Wow. Yeah, I just looked up Irish cryptids. There seems to be like quite a few. I'm not going to pronounce any of these words.
Try.
Faulad or Ferdag der. Some type of werewolf, it sounds like.
Ooh. I know what it is. The translation of that is like dog hunter. It's like the Irish word fagra would mean hunter. And it's sort of a derivation of that. There's one there as well called Darga Doom.
Mm-hmm.
That's
what
the
is that
Red
one?
Doom. It's the Red Doom. There's I think it was an Irish cultural hero, a fella called Cuchulainn. He was basically Ireland's version of Hercules.
Okay.
And again, he had like what was it? He had a slingshot or Hurley bat, and he just killed a pile of dogs that was attacking a town. And that was enough to become an Irish folk hero.
And like, all right, good job, man. You're stuck with us forever.
One of the most famous Irish folk tales would be a giant called Finn McCool. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And his arch enemy was another giant from Scotland. And they hated each other. And they built what's called the Giant's Causeway, which is the volcanic eruptions that created these hexagonal basalt columns that start in Ireland.
Cool.
Yeah, they start in Ireland and they have a sister end in Scotland. And the giants made those so they could cross and fight each other. Yeah.
Interesting.
So the Scottish giant came across, and Finn McCool, he was brave, but he was also smart. So he had the wife disguise him as a baby. Bear in mind, this man is a giant, so he hides as a baby whilst his wife bakes bread and puts the frying pan inside the bread. So when the Scottish giant comes knocking, she tells him, "There's no Finn's not here. It's just me and the baby. But here, you relax, you sit down, have a bit of bread. You can wait for him here." So then the Scottish giant bites into the bread and smashes his teeth. And then whilst he's sitting there in pain, Finn McCool leaps out of the baby's cradle and then just batters him.
That's a fun one. How old do you think that legend is?
Ooh, that's thousands upon thousands of years old.
Wow.
Yeah, because like that's way before, like that is way back in the days of the Druids, whenever they still believed that there was deers walking on their hind legs, casting spells on people. That was the real time of cryptids.
Yeah, I mean, there's something like that in Native American folklore. The skinwalkers. You're not supposed to talk about them because then they'll come after you. But a lot of animals walking on their legs who are like half human, half animal.
I've heard of that before. That big conspiracy theory, Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh yeah, yep, that's a classic. And it's as we talked about on the Aaliyah episode of this podcast last week. The American Southwest is full of scary, like paranormal stories, and a lot of it is because people are just like, this is just like ancient land that's out in the middle of the nowhere. A lot of people who see stuff like that or like Bigfoot are usually camping in like Utah or Nevada out on what we call BLM land, like the Bureau of Land Management, which is just like endless empty space.
Yeah. Was that the land that was gifted to the Native Americans?
No, that's like reservation land. But BLM land is like, it's just like open space that the government controls. Sometimes they turn it into parks, sometimes campgrounds, but it's basically just like vast wilderness essentially. But people will go camping and then that's when they see like a coyote walking on two legs outside their car. And
There we
awesome.
go.
Well, Ram, thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been very interesting talking to you. I hope you get through this Halloween season without anything, without any more blue lights or faceless men.
I hope so. But as you can see, anyway, the sun's more or less completely gone down now. I'm literally podcasting in the dark.
Well, I'm glad you stuck on theme, because it's early in the day here, and it is definitely not dark in this room. But thank you so much for coming on. Do you have anywhere people can follow you, or?
Oh, no. I like my peace and quiet. You know,
Nice.
I don't want anyone else following me. I've already got ghosts.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. And guys, thank you so much for listening. We have one more episode left of Podcasting in the Dark for this year. Thank you to those of you who've tuned in, and we'll see you next week. Bye.